Hello friends, I am Jayanta Ray, co-founder of Sangeet Foundation. Welcome to a special session to celebrate International Women's Day 2021, The Light Within, with a panel of powerful women who have made a major impact in their respective spheres and especially empowering women around them. This is brought to you by Leicester Media School, Faculty of Computing, Engineering and Media of De Montfort University, along with Sangeet Foundation. So before we proceed, here's an announcement. Sangeet Foundation will be celebrating World Happiness Day 2021 on 20th and 21st of March, which is our annual milestone, which we celebrate. Mark Williams, founder of International Fathers Mental Health Day, will be there on the 20th, and Naveen Kundra, celebrated singer in the UK, will be there on the 21st, and they will be hosted for the celebrations. After all, we believe in happiness through music and the arts. Do join in to be a part of these wonderful celebrations, the annual events. Now, our host and dost today is royalty himself. We have the great-great-grandson of Wajid Ali Shah, the last ruler of Oudh, Mr. Shahanshah Mirza. Mr. Mirza is an eminent speaker and has been a major part of most talk shows in India on history concerning the last Nawab of Oudh. He is a prolific writer, a great speaker, now an integral part of Sangeet Foundation as Happiness Ambassador. He's a senior GST officer in the Ministry of Finance. He has co-authored 3 books. He's a green and social activist. He has planted thousands of saplings. Mirza is passionate about preserving the glorious heritage of India. He is a member of INTAC and PKG. He speaks on various issues from different platforms. Ladies and gentlemen, Shahanshah Mirza. So I'm bringing Shahanshah Mirza on. Shahanshah, if you're there. Welcome, Shahanshah, to the show. All yours.
Hi, good evening. And as always, it's a privilege to be a part of Sangeet Foundation's program. Thank you very much, Jointoda. Thank you, Indrani Bhattacharya. Thank you, Indrani Lahiri, and all those who have been associated with Sangeet Foundation. It's my privilege to be a part of Sangeet Foundation, and Sangeet Foundation is doing a wonderful job, and I'm very happy that I'm being associated with this lovely organization. Today, as we are celebrating International Women's Day, it gives me immense pleasure to interact with 3 women who have achieved great success in their life. International Women's Day is a global day, and we celebrate the social, economic, cultural, and political achievement of women. The day also marks a call to action for accelerating gender parity. It celebrates women's achievement and raises awareness about women's equality. We strongly believe that women play an important role in our society. Right from the dawn of civilization, women have played their role with responsibility, dedication, and sincerity. For any society to move forward, the role of women has to be accepted, appreciated, and lauded. But unfortunately, in some quarters, they do not get their due recognition. It is a small effort on our part to recognize their contribution this evening and appreciate their work. Needless to say, women play a lot of role. She can be a mother, sister, wife, daughter. We salute each and every woman. This evening, we have got 3 women from different walks of life who have done great job in their field. We would like to speak to them, find out about their achievement, the challenges they faced, and I'm sure this will inspire a lot of people who are watching this program live and who would be watching it later. So our first guest this evening, whom I would like to introduce, is a Polish woman by origin. She's Marta. Can we have Marta's picture on the screen, please? Welcome, Marta.
Hello.
Marta is a diversity, disability, and domestic abuse campaigner in UK. She is originally from Poland and has herself undergone domestic abuse. She had overcome the challenges and been working relentlessly to create awareness about domestic abuse and help those who have been suffering. She is the co-founder of Warrington Conservative Friends of Poland. She is member of Citizens Panel at Bank of England, committee member of Penket Tennis Club. She is the Conservative Councillor candidate in May local elections for Westbrook, North Warrington. Welcome, Maria. Welcome to the show.
Nice to meet you. Lovely, lovely.
Our next guest for the evening is Piloo Vidyarthi. Piloo Vidyarthi. Welcome, Piloo Vidyarthi.
Hi.
She is a renowned face on stage and screen. She's a multi-dimensional woman who occupies the realms of music, theatre, film, and leadership with both elegance and grit. She has sung for Hindi and Bengali plays, music albums, TV shows, and actively participated in music concerts across India. She was born in an artistic Calcutta family. She has been a part of Ek Jute Theatre group led by Nadira Zahir Babbar for the last 11 years. She runs the passion group of Bengali adults, adolescents, and children called Chutir Pathshala since 2007, keeping the Bengali communities bonded. Piloo is currently featuring in Imli, a daily show on Star Plus. Welcome, Piloo. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Our third guest for the evening is a very dear friend of ours. Her husband and I went to the same school. We are childhood friends. Payal Nath. Payal Nath is the daughter of an army officer. She grew up seeing highly accomplished parents, grandparents, uncles, aunts, and her own siblings. Moving cities every few years because of her dad's posting made her see this as an adventure trip. My God. She studied physics at college and then later on studied footwear technology to data management and then worked as a part-time computer teacher to footwear designer in an automated factory. She co-founded Kadam in 2006, a society working for setting up rural enterprises and support them to run it professionally. Her other enterprise is called Kadam Heart, which was co-founded in 2008 to create sustainable incomes for those thousands who wanted to be empowered socially and economically. She has changed the lives of more than 6,000 women and youth all over the country. Payal Nath has been awarded with 2019 Women of Birth Award by Outlook Business, 2020 Social Entrepreneur of the Year, SMB by Amazon, 2020 Iconic Leader in Social Sector by Women Economic Forum, You Shine Awards by Aparijita, and many, many more. Welcome, Payal Nath. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. It's wonderful to be here with all of you. Looking forward to the discussions.
And before I start, I would like to wish each one of you a very, very happy International Women's Day. So I begin with Marta. I begin with you. We talk about International Women's Day. You know, tomorrow we are going to celebrate International Women's Day. As a woman, and you know, you had seen a lot of life, you had been from Poland to England. What does International Women's Day mean to you?
I think just first of all, it's a good message. It's just a good title to the whole message to the whole world, how important the both women and men are on our planet, and we should never underestimate each of roles. So I think it's a message just to keep going for all of us, for all girls, all sisters, or mums, or neighbors. I think it's just a little reminder that we should keep going, and it is for me personally just something. So one day the year that I feel yes, the world is just, the world belongs to only to girls. And it is empowering. It is. It is.
I'm sure you must be receiving a lot of messages.
Myself. I don't think so. I used to get a lot of messages on International Day, when Women's Day, when I was in Poland. I don't think in the UK it's. I think we should bring it back, because it's a lovely day when just the reminder that really women couldn't vote a century, more than a century ago, but it's not so far ago. We women couldn't even vote. So I think we should bring it back to our society, and to as a little reminder that we are here, and we are equal.
Fine, very good, very good. So let's take the view of our other two panelists. Let's start with Piloo Vidyarthi, what she has to say about International Women's Day. Can you hear me, Piloo? Or let's start with Payal now. Payal, can you hear me?
Yes, yes, I can.
Yes. So let's let us hear your views on International Women's Day. What do you feel about International Women's Day?
I think it's beautiful to be recognized as a woman, because I think just as man, just like Marta said, just as being a man is beautiful, being a woman is also beautiful, an expression of living. And if you talk about just women, I think we're not feminists who are sitting here. We are more, the theme, like 2020 International Women's Day was gender equality, right? And so I feel International Women's Day is all about seeking an equality wherever there isn't, this feeling of inequality. And also Martha spoke about empowerment, and power is the topic you mentioned, light within, and the light doesn't have a gender. So I just feel that, it is empowerment, yes, but it's like your birthday, right? And you feel proud to be a woman, to be born a woman, yes. And it feels nice to be here on this platform, 3 women with one gentleman.
Yes. Very good. Piloo, we would like to hear your views on International Women's Day. You just have to unmute yourself.
Yeah.
Can you hear me? Yes.
I can hear you. Can you hear me? Yeah.
Yes. I can hear you very clearly.
Yeah. I was going off and on. So can you just, tell me what you were speaking about? Because I kind of caught you off and on, both of you.
Since we are talking about International Women's Day, so my question to the other two panelists was, what do you feel about International Women's Day?
All right. So I think I heard bits and pieces of better parts of both Martha and Payal, and I love what she said, that the light within is, it's probably, this is a day that, since it's announced, and there are people all over talking about it, so we can hear the sound loudly, because the sound is always there within us, but we hear it loud and clear. So it's a day, it's like a happy birthday, as she said, happy birthday to me is what I would say. So just reminding ourselves of, once again, who we are, what we are capable of, what we could be capable of, So it's a beginning of creation again. So that's what I would want to say.
Very good. This is 2021. We have made enormous progress in all fields, be it medical, be it science, be it technology, be it arts. But, it gives me a lot of pain, and I'm unable to understand why there's so much inequality. Take, for instance, sports. The amount the winner gets, the man will get more than the woman. And it is, unfortunately, in all walks of life, even in acting. The Bombay film stars, The male stars get more than the female stars. So my question to Marta would be, why haven't we achieved equality? We all talk about equality, but there is inequality, especially when it comes to man versus woman. Why haven't we achieved equality? What do you think?
Why haven't we?
Yes.
Why haven't we? I think it's just a bad habit passed from generation to the generation, and I think we need that generation of strong women just to say that it's the last one. We are not going to pass it on to the next generation of our daughters and sons, and I think it's a very clear. We just need to cut off a moment, and strong women just to and men, because it's not only equality for women and within women. It's not only about women. It's about equality that creates general happiness within even the smallest community. So I believe that we just need to have the cut off generation saying, right, this is the right one. We are not passing any type of inequality any further, and we just need to be very brave. So why I think that we allowed just for passing this wrong message. I think wrong message and bad habits from generations onto next generations. That it's my point of view.
Lovely. Payal, let us hear your views. You have the opportunity of traveling the length and breadth of this country. You have interacted with people at the grassroots level, at different levels. So what are your views? Why there is inequality?
It's very difficult. It's a very heavyweight question, even for sociologists, psychologists, anthropologists, and people have been doing a lot of research and study on gender justice and whatnot. So it's a very heavyweight question to sort of answer in one sentence like this. But what I feel, the social norms that have developed over a period of time have led this bias to, show through the cracks of the society that we built. But it's high time. I think rather than talk about why it is, yes, it is primarily because of the social norms. But if you look at the changes, and I think we are at a lovely time of transition right now. If you see, it's the chair. It's no longer the chairman of a company. It's already changed in the dictionary. It's called the chairperson of the company, not a chairman. It's not called mankind anymore. It's called humankind right now. So we are at that, I think at that phase in life. I think it's a beautiful phase of life to be in, to see that transition moving towards equality. Whether it's a man or a woman, we're talking about humankind, not mankind. So yeah, I think I would like to celebrate this time where we are coming and we are a part of this journey right now, when we see that transition happen. And it's a law of nature. If one weighs heavy, the other one has to balance. So this is a way that I guess we all, I think that's all I have to say. I think it's yeah.
Okay,
thanks.
Wonderful. Piloo, let's hear from you.
Again, very similar thoughts I've been having for, though there was a time when I used to lead a program, called Self-Expression and Leadership Program for Landmark Worldwide. And a lot of these, I've led for thousands of women and men. So there were men and women in my classrooms. And whenever I had to deal with women, the one thing that I used to face in my classrooms is, somewhere there would be a line where there was a certain difference in the way they would ask their questions or they would interact about their issues. I wouldn't say problems, their issues. And so the search for expression, as I led a classroom of 75 or 80 or 100 or 50, between men and women of all ages, there was always a difference in what they were seeking in the expression, that the self-expression. So while, that journey, I was always in introspection of constantly searching myself also for what could it be? And there was no right answer, because as we know that it's the universe, the creation of the universe. For historically, if we go back, the tradition, the orientation, the thinking, it's there. And as Payal said, that it's unproductive to, or waste of time to keep fighting or resisting the fact that it is there. So that's why there is man and woman. It is there, so there's no point in that. Why it is there? Why can't this happen? It is to be able to seek and search within and look for the light within, and be able to shine with that light. So that's where we can. So it is there. I mean, there is, why it is there is no point. I mean, I have seen that. So the part that Payal was mentioning is beautiful, to keep thinking that and keep looking for that light. And one of one of those rays that we see today is that it's shining bright. Actually, is that women have started their search, and the search is on, and it's expanding, and they're showing up, and the world is responding accordingly. So as the chairman has become the chairperson, mankind has become humankind. So it's happening. So you'll start seeing, if you look and search for it, you'll start seeing. And let's celebrate that journey.
Very good, very nice. Yes. And this trend has started in the last 5-10 years, and I think it's a very, very positive trend. And I hope that it continues and it embraces more and more sections of society. I'll come back to Marta. You are a diversity, disability, and domestic abuse campaigner.
Mhm.
You moved from Poland to UK. So we would like to hear your story in short. What made you move from Poland to England, and why did you become a diversity, disability, and domestic abuse campaigner? What was the motivation, inspiration? What was the reason to take up this vocation?
Well, the reason of moving over from Poland to the UK was just obviously that Poland joined EU. So my generation, we couldn't study abroad, we couldn't travel freely. So it was just like the wave of fresh air from the West. We used to learn only from the books. So at schools. So I think it was just sort of adventure, so sort of finding fit economically as well, because the transition when Poland joined EU, the political and economical transition was quite heavy. So we mainly it was the economical reasons I moved from Poland to the UK, and then it was 2006, so many years ago. And meantime, I experienced by myself domestic abuse. It wasn't physical. It was strictly psychological and economic abuse, but it was so it pushed me to this road, just and path, just to make my voice to be heard, and challenge policies, challenge legislation, challenge local government, and say, but I am sorry, I was 9 years in such mess. I'm not going to suffer after leaving my abuser. So because legislation wasn't ready for survivors of domestic abuse, and it's going to be ready because of the fantastic domestic abuse bill being introduced by very soon in the UK. But it wasn't like that when I left, and I was very disappointed, because I thought, well, I was trying pull myself together up and leave. But when I left, it was even worse than I was in a relationship. So I think from of course financial point of view, because this is crucial. But yes, this is my little story how I ended up being a campaigner because of my personal experience. Disability will always be with me because I've got a child who needs a little bit more attention at school, and he's been getting it since he was 4. So I've always been, my heart has been always close to any issues related to disability and diversity, because I'm Polish. So in living in the UK, so I think that the personal experience put me on this campaigning path. And 3 chosen subjects are just have been nothing but my personal story.
It's a story of a brave woman, I would say, a story of fight back. And I know a lot of women. I read about a lot of women who accept domestic violence and they don't do anything about it, and they suffer for the rest of their life. But at least you have been fortunate enough to come out of it. And now, because of this campaign, you are trying to help other women. So, it's a great effort, and we really appreciate and we really salute you for your effort. And we wish you all the best.
Oh, thank you. That's really, really lovely to hear. Thank you so much. Thank you. Well, I don't give up. So I think I was born as a little warrior. So bless my parents, but yes, I never give up. So and if I say A, that must be always B. And if I can help anybody, just on my path, yes, I'll be very happy to if I could make somebody's life better.
Payal, Nath, your father was an army officer. You come from a very privileged background. You are married to a highly successful engineer. He's a top-level corporate. You have lived in Calcutta, Bangalore. What made you think about, helping women who belong to the lower strata of the society? It's not easy traveling, length and breadth of the country, especially, when you go to villages, there is a lot of problems, especially for women. So what made you, think on those lines?
Yes, the story starts from my childhood. So when you have everything and you see things, or you see even people on the road who don't have, and then I used to ask a lot of questions as to why is it that some people are like this? Why is there no equality in the world? I mean, my parents would be fed up of me sometimes asking some silliest of questions. So I think the answer for a lot of things came from within, going inside. And I had to find the answers for all my questions, which seemed very mundane and very basic, as a child. Simple questions like, let's say on the road, there's a puppy who's crying, and where is the mother? Why is the mother not with the dog? Things like that, the silliest and tiniest of things, answers to that of the bigger questions of life. I think I sort of sought and answers. And my grandfather put me on this journey that, you need to get all the answers from self. And so to find the answers for self, I was blessed. I had blessings of the Almighty, whatever you call it, and I had the best of all. But there were so many people who didn't have it. And I can't expect the government to do something, or this person to do something, or that something if I feel for that person. So then somebody needs to do it. And I felt that I was privileged and I had the kind of opportunity to probably go out and do something and make a difference. And I realized when I started to go out and, we would travel to areas, sleep for months together. I would be sleeping on the floor in a village where we are working. there'll be no bathrooms, we'll be going in the fields. And yes, like you said, it wasn't easy coming from privileged backgrounds and there was no need to do it. But the more strength I felt that the more I helped the women to be socially as well as economically empowered, the more strength I got too. So I think the sharing empowers you as well. It's not just empowering others, it empowers you as well. So it's a beautiful sharing, and then you learn so much from the new way, another way of living, and it sensitizes you to be able to, and in the position that you are in, the community or the society that you belong to, probably you can make a difference in the policy making as well. So I guess a lot of factors, but I guess one would be empathy. And also the journey within, coming back to the light within. I think also recognizing the vulnerability within yourself. I was never sure I was growing up. Parents were overachievers. My brother and my sister, they were my brother was very handsome, and he's an artificial intelligence scientist now. And my sister is highly accomplished and a beautiful, tall, young lady. And so I felt that I needed to discover who I am, and in the journey of who I am, I began to recognize my own vulnerability, internal vulnerability, and loving myself as a whole. Once you love yourself as a whole, you can share a lot more. It's like, how to say in Hindi that you have a 100-watt bulb, but it gives more light. So you need to increase the power of that bulb, right? So to do that, to release that renewable energy which is within, you're able to reach out to more people and help more people, or work with more people. Help is not the right word. Work, and make teams, partnerships with more people to share this beautiful world and joys that this life has.
We need more bulbs like you, and that too powered by solar energy.
Thank you.
So, Piloo, let's hear your story, this journey so far.
Okay, so slightly different than Marta and Payal, yes, because I cannot call the thing is, what I used to suffer from actually is I could not say what do I do when people used to ask me what do you do. I had, and even this time I told Jayanto, why are you inviting me with Marta and Payal? I don't know, because I don't know what I do. So what I do is I use my art form. Whatever I have within me, I write, I sing, I act, I speak. I did not know that I was doing all of this. Like he just said, that is something, Payal said that it's the energy, renewable energy within. So being in an artistic environment, although father was from the corporate world, but being closely associated with my grandmother and mother, who are singers, actors, and, theater. So I think it was just there within me, observing the industry, film industry very closely from childhood, actors world, and, so the questions that people have asked me is, why didn't you do it earlier? I joined this industry, properly much later in life, much, much later. So when people ask me, honestly, when I look for the answer, I've seen that it did not attract me, it did not call me. And I just did whatever else I wanted to do, which was actually not my calling, but, just because the society needs were there. I was a good student, so just went on to doing different switch jobs. Finally, I started working with radio, back in 93, 94. So when I joined radio, Times of India, private, the FM radios, I started producing shows, writing the shows, speaking, being a read jockey. And while doing that, I saw that I am beginning to write things, because we used to produce our own shows that time. So when I'm talking on the radio, making people listen to the music of my choice, connecting the music with something that I'm speaking about, I saw that I'm connecting with a lot. So there was this little studio. There was a mic in front of me. There was a red light outside the studio, where there's silence. So in between you and this wall, there's nothing. You are there. The mixer is there, and you're speaking on your microphone. But I used to connect with the whole world. Whole of Kolkata, with just that "Good Morning Kolkata." And when I used to talk on that microphone, and talk about, early morning 7 a.m. I had my show. I found myself during that time. I found that there is something that I want to speak, say, do. Maybe I'm playing music. I'm not singing right now. I'm playing music for the city people, for the outskirts also. And I'm imagining that these people, something is happening to these people by listening to my music that I'm playing, what I'm talking to them. So I started motivating without planning to motivate, I was motivating people. So I realized that, so it was not a planned journey I had. I just discovered that, this is happening to me. The vulnerability of wanting to talk about a song, not just by this is the lyricist and this is the music composer of the song, but somewhere I used to connect the nature, everything, our lives with the song. And people used to write in letters, the fan mails used to come. So it was wonderful to discover that, you are somebody who wants to reach out. And as I felt that I want to reach out, I kind of, I kept doing things, and the world started connecting to me. So in today's time, what I do is, I sing, I speak, I connect people with music, and I try and bring out the vulnerable in the human being, because there are women who have told me that how can you, I'm famous that my nose becomes red. It's a joke in my house. My husband, my son, they joke, and he's in California, my son, but he keeps joking on the video calls that, oh, your nose is becoming red now. So I used to tell women, now I tell them that it's, just if you want to cry, or for that matter, to everyone I say when I'm doing these shows, when I talk and I sing, I let people know that by listening to this song, just don't listen to the song. Maybe you hum the song wherever you are, you know you absorb it, and you take it within. Listen to my song, but you take it within and you sing it yourself. You don't have to be a singer for that. You just sing, and you just travel anywhere you want to travel. It could be a beach, it could be a long walk, it could be, a mountain, it could be in your room. But just take a walk with yourself and discover yourself through this song and see where you reach. And don't go anywhere other than, don't have to, you can tell me good song and you are great later on. Right now, be with yourself and the song. And after the song, they have said things like, I connected with my dad who used to, uh, so I kind of push them into going inside, internal, with my music, with my talking. And that's how my journey has been. I love doing that. And whenever I get an opportunity, I kind of, do such things, crazy things actually.
Wonderful, 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 wonderful. You know, we are talking on a very, very serious subject. It's a very important subject, and and it's a very heavy subject. Before it gets too heavy, I would request you to sing a song for all of us.
Yeah, and you remember what I told you, Shahanshah? The deal that we have, okay? So the deal that we have is biryani, and he's going to treat me to biryani when I'm in Kolkata. Okay, so I'm going to sing a couple of lines for my friend Marta.
It will be home cooked biryani. It will be home cooked biryani.
Yeah, I know. That's the deal. So Marta, here is a little, few lines for you. But basically, why I'm singing this for her, I just choose this song as they speak, is because I know that when I connect with this song differently. But she today, she's here in UK, and it's a Polish song which I had learned when I was a kid. In school, we used to.
How many languages do you know, by the way?
I don't know. I know Hindi, English, and Bangla, but these are things that I have done in the past, and it just remains. So who knew I had to meet Marta, and it would pop up for me. So this is actually, one second. I just take the. So this is a Polish song. I'll sing two lines of a translation that my mother had written at that time. She's a writer also, songwriter. So, Swajiveşka dola seşka dojelene go, aha, dojelene go, aha, dojelene go. Swajiveşka dola seşka dojelene go, aha, dojelene go, aha, dojelene go, aha, 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 aha. That's for you,
Very
Marta.
nice, very nice. Excellent, very good, very good. Thank you so much.
Now
Marta,
they
are you
will
happy
believe me.
hearing a Polish song? Are you happy hearing a Polish song from an Indian?
Amazing, absolutely amazing. they are going to believe me now.
Yeah.
I'm sure they will.
Oh.
Coming to Marta, there are many women causes which needs to be addressed. Which women cause do you think needs to be changed or challenged first?
Women, sorry.
Women causes, there are many women causes which needs to be changed.
Well,
So
you
which
mean
is the most important women's
reasons
cause
of
according to you needs to be changed? Which is
the
the most
reasons-
important women's cause that needs to be changed according to you?
the cause
Yes.
of inequality, you mean?
It can be
No.
anything. It can be anything.
Anything. Well, I would say that definitely a few reasons that we need to challenge and change to make women's lives more equal or equal. Well, let's negotiate from the level, but equal, not more equal. So I think financial independence is crucial, because financial independence, women, it would give women a much more freedom, and it would give women power to empower not only inside but just around them as well. If one woman is empowered and supported, then she can pass the message on and empower the circle, the close circle. But I think financial independence is the most important, because if you even look at how women are treated during the maternity leave, and I experienced that, and I just couldn't. I found totally unacceptable that when I decided to have a child, my career, my income just suffered just from the way they won. And I thought, oh no, there is no way. I bring a citizen here, a new life, who's going to build this world for the next. He's going to be our next generation. So it's not. I don't want to sound, but I should be really appreciated. But I had a baby. But I think that my baby should be appreciated to be here on this planet. So if we don't put equality during the pregnancy for women, the pregnancy time, and during the maternity, then we are creating the systems create the indirect abuse to any child brought to this world. Because if mother is not independent financially, then at the end of the day, the child is going to suffer. So it is like a circle. We need to cut the circle, and I think the financial independence is the absolutely the most important thing. Just being equal, just because we women can have children, and then we take the maternity leave. Then it needs to be. It needs to be balanced. It hasn't been balanced so far. Not during my pregnancy anyway. And I wish it will. It's going. I wish really. I hope it will be. It will be properly balanced for next generations.
So just for your information, that Government of India gives a very long maternity leave to women, And even after the child is born, you can take what is known as a child care leave up to 6 months. You can take it at one go. You can take it in bits and pieces. So, as Payal had said that, things are changing, and hopefully, things will improve in years to come. Payal, what are your views about the women's cause? Which do you think needs to be changed or challenged first?
Um, like Martha mentioned, it's cyclic. So I feel financial and social both need to go parallelly, hand in hand, just like man and women need to go hand in hand parallelly together, right? So I think that's what we did in my organization when we started our organization. In 2006, we started Kadam, which means a step, taking steps together. And so we realized that when we were bringing the opportunities for the women to earn from their households in the rural areas, that was not making as much of a change till we sort of had a program to make them socially empowered as well. So then we had to tweak it a little bit. So financially, yes, they have started to earn money, but then the money is going probably on how it's going to be used. They still feel vulnerable. They probably will hand over the money to the husband, or he'll force that money to be handed over to the family kitty, and then he or the mother-in-law will decide how the money would be used and things like that. So we realized that socially also it has to be go parallelly with financial, yes, so there also kind of an equality needs to come in, I feel. It has to be a walk like this together.
Yes, Piloo, let's hear from you.
Yeah, I don't know, there's some connection I have with Payal about, or is it just sequential? I also want to add to that. Of course, financial independence is a key factor, but yes, because I do this, I'm slightly on the other side of where you both are right now. I mean, actively participating in, concrete, measurable steps being taken and measurable results are being, produced on the court. My stuff is a little organic because it's happening subliminally, because I sing and I arouse people's, emotions. And that's something that, because I am a very emotional person, I am practical, but I'm overtly, vulnerable and emotional. And I want to encourage women to tap their vulnerability so that they can then look for the light within with that vulnerability, and then stand up for themselves and do it without a noise, without a fight. You do it beautifully, but just gaining the strength from within. And vulnerability is the pathway to gain that strength. If you can, because otherwise it's all a mask of, I'm strong. So to go deep down and come out emotionally, that emotional equality, there is a difference there. Somewhere we are still, all of us, to some degree or the other, we take a little step back and then we say, no, let me just, hold myself. That holding back, maybe it's necessary sometime. Your wisdom will take care of that. Trust, and but just, you need to stand up for that emotional equality, where you got to be understood, or you got to be, the world has to respect that also. Before you start thinking that, you need to understand them. There has to be equality in that understanding thing, who understands whom. We don't go into a fight for that, but there needs to be an equality there, that understanding. So that's what I want to say.
I just want to add a few words there. I totally agree with you, Piloo. Even in terms of tangible results, vulnerability really yields results. Give you an example. At the field level in the rural areas, a lady was given the task in the menstrual, analysis of data, and to collect data and to create an awareness amongst the rural women. But because those 5 days in a month when a woman is herself a little vulnerable physically, and she's not feeling strong enough to go to the field and do the work, probably data collection. So her boss sometimes would think that maybe she is not because the output is not like a man, which would be probably 30 days in a month. For a woman, it would be 25 days in a month. So the output may not be correct. But if you look at the vulnerability that she has, it's her strength, because she's able to connect with women on the field for her job, and the outcome is far more than probably a man in her job. So even intangible, the vulnerability adds to an advantage if you can make that balance. No?
Yes, yeah.
Right.
So, and it's also for, during the other time when you are, for women who are at that age when they're pre-menopause or menopause is, beginning. So it's a time of, I've been seeing people all around me, and hearing things and hearing different stories. But the way those stories are said also is, better part of the stories are more like they just don't understand, what we go through. Or it is like, so I would say that, it is going to be, that's also part of life. I have had my family support, my husband supported me through and through, trying to just, be patient with me when I have gone through. Everybody probably goes through some kind of changes during that time. But in spite of that, I've always been conscious of, what people are thinking. I shouldn't be doing this, am I bothering people too much? So the emotional, the manifestation, how the way emotions manifest for a woman, in our country, is that, I'm the carer, I'm the provider, I need to take care. So I cannot be vulnerable, because if I'm vulnerable, then I cannot take care. So that thing we need through our different kinds of workouts, things that are happening, we need probably to bring that up, that yes, we will take care being vulnerable.
Same thing with men goes for men as well. They are vulnerable. They are taught when they grow up, they have the responsibility to look after the family, and they have to earn enough and save enough for the daughter's marriage and blah and blah and blah. So it's vulnerability in both the sides, and that's what makes a man going and earn and do better in his profession. And that's what women, I think, yes. So that is the strength. Vulnerability is a strong strength, and the strengths need to be strengthened and unleashed and used like water. That dam, if you build with that strong flow of water, it converts into thermal energy, right? And that's power.
And that goes to show that you studied physics in college.
Yes, that's right.
So Piloo, one of your fans is writing to us, she wants to hear a song from you, Dolega Jia.
Dolega Jia?
Yeah.
But I don't know what the song that is. I mean, he should give me a first line of that song.
Doli by Dolega Jia.
I don't think I know that song. Or
There's
probably
a request to sing
not.
Doli by Dolega Jia.
I know he's a fan of Sangeet Foundation. I don't know, or I'm not getting the song because I don't know what song he's talking about. But if you have time and if you can rewrite
any song of your choice.
Okay, I'll just sing something for. I know who's he keeps writing so. I have a dream, a song to sing, to help me cope with anything. If I see the wonder of the fairy tale, I can take the future, even if I fail. I believe in angels, something good in everything I see. I have a dream, a song to sing. And for him, I'll add a line here because I know he wants to hear something in Hindi. जिंदगी कैसी है पहेली हाय, कभी तो हंसाए कभी रुलाए. जिंदगी कैसी है पहेली हाय, कभी तो हंसाए कभी रुलाए. So we will cry and we will laugh And that's vulnerability.
Very good, very good. Very good. Marta, your story is of courage, fight back. I'm sure a lot of people must have helped you in your life. There must have been, few role models. Who have had the greatest influence in your life so far?
Mhm. I think my parents helped me just to keep me going, and it was just some heritage from my childhood. But I must, I think the way they brought me up, I think it was just it paid off whenever I needed to raise and rise over the difficult waters. But I've met absolutely amazing women in since 2014, because 2014 was quite a very it was a very turbulent year. But when I look back, it was the breaking point. So I think teachers. I think there was the one head teacher from my son's school, where my son used to go to primary school. Then a few politicians who I used to look at, listen to them when I was just sitting on my sofa. Very powerful, very powerful. All women.
British politicians.
Oh, British, yes. I think my hero is Indian heritage, is Priti Patel, and I think I can't find more powerful woman, just who gave me so much strength when she always talks about domestic abuse, and every time when I see her, it gives me pleasure just to listen to her. But I know that she gets to all these victims and all the survivors of domestic abuse all over the country, and she just gets this very clear message that she will sort it. She will sort it everything out, and it's beautiful, it's powerful, it's empowering and hopeful. It brings hope. So I think I met amazing lady Canwell, who set up a Conservatives diversity project, and she empowered me absolutely. I can't even find words just to say thank you, because it just brought my confidence back. Then it was amazing when they from Warrington we set up the group for polls in Warrington. So there loads, but I think there are different. My time after I would divide my recovery time and regaining confidence as not particularly as a woman, as a mom, as a human being. I think I would divide the first year after leaving the relationship was just finding myself on my own without any help. Then was realization that it wasn't so good as I thought it would be, because I didn't get as much help as I expected I would. And then I think it was just and the third period was just hey, thank God, I'm here, I'm not going back. And it's me, and you need to listen to me, because it's not right, because I'm not going. You say leave, but I need some help from. So I think there are three different periods after I left, and I think that I reached this third moment when actually during the recovery moment time, I'm just trying to pass the message as a I think expert by experience, and then it shapes policies in a better way, more it reflects the real need for even domestic abuse survivors and victims. So yes, there are a lot of women. I promise myself that I will, when I'm totally sorted, when I'm totally healed, and then I will prepare a nice exhibition. But I'm not saying what it's going to be. I've got a plan.
Yes, Payal, let's hear from you.
Yeah, I think when I was a child, my father was a great influence. In fact, parents, like Martha said, yes, parents, the seed doesn't fall too far away from the tree, right? So my parents, but my father always used to have discussions with us after dinner about what do you want to be when you grow up and things like that. And we would ask sometimes, because he was in the army, but he was in the education corps, and a very renowned person who would inspire a lot of people and young minds. So we would, of course, ask him. And he would say, whatever you wish to become, but just be true to yourself when you grow up, and do not become a national waste. When you're living on a planet, you need to give a rent to the planet by doing something, because you are breathing the air, you're eating from the soil of the planet where you're living. So you need to do something and be useful. And whichever nation you live in, you don't be a waste, don't be a burden on the, just eat and sit, and you do something with your life. And being a mother is also, and bringing up a responsible citizen is also a very important job to do, and not to be taken very seriously. So yes, I think he was a very important for me, for my growth, for me as a role model, as my guru, and my mother, of course. And I'd never seen, because a mother is, of course, for a girl more even than a man. You're like a shadow. You want to be like your mother. She's your ideal. My mother was the most talented, educated lady wherever we would be in that circle. She was a professor of sociology. She gave up everything to bring up 3 children and to be the wife of an army officer who would get posted. So she left her professorship to be to do the responsibilities. Wherever we traveled, she would open a school for the underprivileged, completely selfless lady, and never have a sense of ownership that she did this for something, for somebody, and my name should be there, never. So she was an extremely selfless lady, and I saw the kind of strength that she had, because when we all grew up and she had all the time for herself, being a very senior army officer's wife also, she did not take his car or vehicle to join a job as a very junior supervisor in a factory, because she wouldn't get a job without experience of so many years. There was a huge gap. And she bought a cycle for herself, and she would go park her cycle with the workers of the factory, a senior officer's wife, and she would be a supervisor in the factory. And from there, she rose within 5 years to be an international expert working for UNDP. So I've seen the kind of strength that this lady had, who was my mother, and absolutely no, how to say that I am so-and-so, a very grounded person. And then I think I've been extremely lucky, I would say, Shahanshah. Of course, your friend, my husband, Nath, yes, he. I don't know.
He's a gem of a person.
It's very difficult to describe him. Yes, he's always there. To tell you an incident, that when he got an award from, he used to travel a lot for his work, and I was, of course, seeing my mother. I was handling, balancing home and work and everything. So he got an award from the German president. It's like a knighthood, So he got an award, the Cross of Merit. And when this award was given in August with the dignitaries, he asked everybody to stand up and applaud for his wife. Because if his wife had not supported him for his travels and not given him the kind of support to look after the family, bring up the child almost single-handedly, he would not have got this award. So he made everybody stand up. And I think that's so empowering, right? So to stand for each other and to be, and I mean, it's so difficult to tell one person. I think there have been so many examples. My own daughter, she had to go for an international conference for a talk. And she was just a small little girl. She got dengue. She was admitted in the hospital. Now I'm representing the country and I'm going to make a presentation. But I'm in a dilemma because I have to leave my only child, who's just about 7, 8 years old, in the hospital alone, and my husband's traveling. And this little child says, I know this to you, to the country, to everybody, and to the village women with whom you work, because you're going to show their work. Just go, do it, and come back. Don't stay for all the 5 days. Just come back because I need you also. I think it's the kind of support, but it comes because when you address your own vulnerability, you know who you are. You don't try to be somebody you are not. And then the other person will respond equally, right? And then that sort of a balance comes in. I think I've been very lucky because I've found to love myself with all my vulnerabilities. And when you do that, you find more people with whom you learn and share this experience. So yeah, I think even from you, Shahanshah, I've learned so much. I'm still trying to pick up and be a little bit sense of humor if I could get from you also.
Thank you. You have made my evening. But I wish all husbands should behave the way your husband did. When he received the award from the German president. It's a great honor for any wife.
Yes.
Yes, Piloo, let's hear from you.
Yeah, it's just
who has been your
yeah, actually many, but okay, primarily to just if somebody, the names that come to me, I have picked up the the lead, the light within started shining by subliminally when I grew up listening to my mother singing early mornings, anytime in the day. She's a singer primarily, and so growing up years listening to her singing, with her she had a very bass and loud voice, beautiful. And the only thing that I still hold and I build on that, and I got from her is like like a khazana, is that the expression with which she used to sing. So she, being an actor also, I think when she used to sing, all that I have picked up and I've heard and I've imbibed within me is the expression, the vulnerability with which she used to sing. She used to emote everything in her music. At that time, I did not figure it out in these, I could not interpret it like this, but it remained with me. So maybe I used to copy her, try to copy her subliminally and sing like her. So I got that gift, it turned into a gift because I happened to start singing like that. And that I built on it, obviously with my own learnings, my own journey. And I built on that. And today, I mean, people come to me even to, take workshops on how do you emote? How do you bring soul into your singing? What do you do? And I don't find one answer. So I kind of take a workshop for them. So this is one thing. And the other woman who has made me, kind of bring this expression out, you can say empowered, inspired, is my mother-in-law, because she has Reba Vidyarthi. She's no more, but she has been a very renowned Kathak guru for all the Kathak dancers in India. And she has never stepped on stage herself because she had given her word to her. She's a Bengali from Ajmer and Rajasthan. And she had, in those times in 1920s, 29, 30, 30s, she had given a word to her, her paternal great uncle and her grandfather that, I will not perform on stage, because they had said that go and learn Kathak, but you cannot perform Chatterjee, in our household. You cannot go and perform or dance on stage. And she gave a word to him, and he passed away later on, at his time, but she honored that word. And happily, like Payal was saying about her mother, she, from the time I got married in 99, I've never heard her. I spent a lot of time with her. I've never heard her saying or even feeling it. I have never seen her feel it also, because otherwise it would somewhere show. She was so content and happy and absolutely at peace with herself, doing what she was doing, which is teaching Kathak to the, to the whole of, to anyone. She worked with disabled people, she worked with, different sectors, and she was enjoying it and she was soaking in it. So silently I was observing her, and somewhere it, it just, I synced with the whole thing of how can I use my art form. So these two people have been, and of course, the man in my life, my husband, has always been there to kind of one push about, so it is not push in the sense of questioning, but always saying that, okay, you want to, because I'm saying sometimes I want to do this, oh no, I don't want to do this, I want to do that. So at each time, each moment when I have said, switching, so I had no fixed career, he would say that, okay, you want to do that, you're clear, do it. And what is it? Do it. So that do it, that little push, sometimes I used to think anything I say, he says, do it. But that little word, okay, do it. If you're clear, do it. So that helped me, helped me go ahead with, my crazy stuff that I do.
Fantastic. Very nice. Very nice. Can we expect another song from you?
Yeah, I think I saw the line that he wrote. So, I think that will be the parting song. So when we are ending, I think I will give a message with that song.
Right.
If that works.
So now can we have another song? One of your favorites?
Yes. My favorites. Oh God, I have so many favorites. I know. What is your favorite? Tell me. You had told me. You tell me your favorite. Okay. For you, Shahanshah, I have to sing something for you. I'm thinking of the biryani, so I have to sing something interesting for you.
I will not ask for any question because this is Women's Day. Everything belongs to you all. I'm not going to impose any choices.
All right. चल के तुझे मैं लेके चलूं एक ऐसे गगन के तले जहाँ गम भी न हो आंसू भी न हो बस प्यार ही प्यार पले एक ऐसे गगन के तले जहाँ दूर गगन लहराए आजाद गगन लहराए सॉरी जहाँ दूर नजर दौड़ाए आजाद गगन लहराए जहाँ रंग बिरंगे पंछी आशा का संदेशा लाए जहाँ रंग बिरंगे पंछी आशा का संदेशा लाए सपनों में पली हंसती हो कली जहाँ शाम सुहानी ढले जहाँ गम भी न हो आंसू भी न हो बस प्यार ही प्यार पले एक ऐसे गगन के तले.
Very good, very good, very good. We all want that world where there is no gham, no aansu, only pyar. You have an extremely melodious voice.
Thank you.
Marta, women and performing arts go hand in hand. And being a part of Sangeet Foundation, it is only relevant that I asked this question. Do you believe that women should have some passion or follow some kind of art to cope with the challenges of day-to-day life?
Oh yes, absolutely. It's sort of therapy, and I think that personal fulfillment and achievement. And I think whatever you do, you can cook, you can knit, you can sew, you can paint, you can design your own house, your interior, and then paint the walls if I did, and it was just sort of my therapy. But yes, and there is sort of of course, you achievement as well. But I think people think that they need to be talented to perform. It doesn't go. It doesn't. It does not particularly go together. You can find your own hobby. You can find your own area in any sort of art area, and then you just keep going. And but sometimes it's even the choice of starting something new. I would add to art. I would add sport, actually, because I found sport very therapeutic. So I
What do you play?
Well, I played tennis, and I started playing golf in 2014. So it was something completely new, and it was a big challenge, and I just find sport that I can switch off, and I can relax. So for some people it's art. Even for me, it's art of cooking. It is, but I think sport in my case, it's just totally switching off, and then being a part of the team as well. I just love it. It's my sort of therapy. Yes. So yes, women definitely should because some of them, they can actually turn the hobby into business. You never know. I'm sure there are fantastic stories, and we've never heard of, and but we are going to listen to some great stories. But some hobbies have been turned into fantastic businesses.
Very nice. So when I visit England, I'll play tennis with you. I play tennis 5 days a week, and it's a stress buster for me.
Oh.
Yes, Payal, let's hear from you.
Yeah, personally, if you say yes, I lost my father, who was my role model, 3 years ago. And I think what got me through was painting. Yes, it helped me. It was extremely therapeutic to think about him, to think about all the good things that he taught. And somehow the colors were so vibrant when I was painting. So there's a direct connection with your hand and your thought when you do something with your hand. So, and it helps the emotion to come out. For different people, it's different, like what Marta said and what Piloo says. It's through her singing, she gets that. And for me, I got personally through my hands, through painting. But the same thing for when I work in the villages, and Marta, going back to what you said about making a hobby into a livelihood, what we do with our women in our villages is that we tell them to make something. When we go to the village, we want to empower them financially. And we ask them that how many hours can you take out from your daily routine to do something for yourself? If this is, somebody will say 2 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours, maximum 4 hours, nobody more than that in a day for themselves. And so we say that what is it that you know that you can do? And they say, we don't know anything. We can't do anything. We can only work in the fields, and we can look after the child, and we can look after the husband and house and blah, blah, and cook and all that. So then we said, okay, then you just pick up any needle, thread, whatever, make a basket, grass, whatever you have, whatever you make for your house, maybe make that. But whatever you do it with your heart. And ye aapki pehchan hogi, which means that this is going to be your identity. Whatever you do is your identity, your technique. And that's how we identify the strengths, the hand skill strengths that these women have. And that's how we convert that strength into a livelihood option for them by designing a program for them. So yes, you very correctly said that, it could be easily converted. And because they enjoy doing it, it never feels like they have to, it's like a chore for them. It's celebration time for them, and they're earning, and it's happiness. Science says that doing anything with your hand is therapeutic. It does something to your cerebral brain. So yes, hobby is a must. And you could convert your hobby or your passion or what you want to do to convert your internal energy into something else which is happy.
Yes, Piloo, let's hear from you.
Yeah, the happiness part is what I was going to come to, is that it, it's just the strength building, it's the strength within. And as she said that, women initially, many and most of them, at first would, they will say that, oh, I don't like doing anything, or, oh, there's no hobby, because they don't relate to that word hobby. Or I mean, it's just that the structure and the way we are oriented and the way we have been functioning. So the women, by we mean the women, it's like we are, inside of this one rectangle or a square where we are. So they cannot think of expanding it, and they don't want to look for it. So, but rightly, as she said that, when you say, okay, you break it up for them, make it easy for them, lead them to think that, okay, how many hours can you take out? Give them some lead so that they can start looking, digging into that thing called, what do I, is there anything that I used to like doing? So I remember I used to lead this program, self-expression, and there was this project that everyone had to take on, men, women. And the women had, and I had to pass those projects before they started off, in the 3.5 months. And they were passion projects to take out their real, true self-expression. They were not a need-based project or social work or something that they had to do, again, to earn some good name somewhere. So I had to, one question that I had asked them each time when they got stopped is, okay, just imagine you have uh, one more month to live. You don't have time. God has said you have chutti. You have to die after 1 month. What would you want to be? I had to make them do this exercise. I mean, I just devised it for them by myself. And that time they used to start saying, I want to trek. I want to. Before that, she had never uttered that word. She could not even think of leaving her house and duties and everything. That it isn't possible to think of trekking. So, those kinds of, and then she did a mini project with, took some women together and went on a trek. Very short, maybe, it's just but she did it. And then, then they start doing things after that. So I think to dig in, one needs to dig into passion.
Lovely, lovely, lovely. It has been a wonderful conversation so far with all three of you, and I'm enjoying it, and I hope all those who are watching it too, they too are enjoying it. But we have to keep in mind that time is a big constraint. So we have come to the last question of the evening, and this question ideally should be answered by men. But since we are celebrating International Women's Day, so I think it should be answered by all three of you. Men need women more than women need men. Men need women more than women need men. And this is the universal truth. According to you all, what should men change in themselves to start accepting this honest reality? Marta, you go ahead first.
My goodness.
Thank God I'm last.
I'm good, but I'm not so good.
Or should we change the sequence for the last question? Do you want me to change the sequence?
No. Please.
I think it's just a question of universe, to be honest. Well, it's a big challenge, to be honest.
You go to any house and you find it's in total disorder, and then you realize that there's no woman in the house.
But I think I just look back when my mom is quite a strong personality, so I think she's been always the head of the house. So I sometimes I just feel I'm just looking at my parents' example, but my dad would be just lost without that. So there's no question whatsoever. Just men do need women. If I can turn it to not really serious answer, because of course we do need each other, and I'm a very big believer in balance, in a balanced life. So I think we fill the gaps just in a such a nice way. So I wouldn't go the way that they need us more than we need them. I think we just we do need each other, and then it would be balanced world.
Lovely. Payal, let's hear from you.
Sorry, I just a question once again. Is it that the men need women more, or more men need women more? What was it? I got a little confused.
Men need women more. Men need
Okay.
women more than women need men. And this is the universal truth. So according to you, what should men change in themselves to accept this truth?
No wonder all the no-nos, huh? Oh, it's a tough one, yeah. I don't know. I think, you know, the men need to be more tolerant. I think just this the acceptance of the vulnerability, and that again comes from socially how the norms have been created for the men to be the stronger men. Just because he's physically stronger, he could probably pick up something which probably a lady can't pick up, let's say. So, and then so he's assumed to be more, you know, so this assumption needs to be broken, and that happens once we're a little bit more tolerant, I guess. Yeah. But honestly, I don't agree in my life. I need my husband as much as he needs me.
He's a wonderful person.
Not
He's an
financially.
exception to the rule. There's just 10% like Rajesh Nath in this world.
Yeah, I mean, it's a tough one. Yeah, I think everybody has a different expression to that. Yes, with his own experience in life. But yes, tolerance is one thing I feel, whether it's a man or a woman, he needs to have that, and that brings in the empathy, and that changes a lot of things. That changes the equation of equality. Yeah.
Now let's hear from the woman who has the golden voice.
So I will add another T to tolerance, because I don't know whether it's universal truth or, you know, it's too, you know, it's based, like again she mentioned, it varies from person to person. Yeah. But overall, yes, we complement each other. Having said that, there is always, you know, that this thing will keep coming up. So if to answer that question that you asked, I'll just add one more T. With all good intention, when men come and help, and, you know, if you're picking up a bag and they come and help, being the man, fantastic. Probably at that point of time, I mean that can coexist. The man can be the man and help the woman, and another lane can coexist when he can trust and be peaceful and say, okay, let her pick up. She can pick it up herself. You know, she can. If there's tolerance and trust, they'll empower. By that process, there'll be empowerment coming in to the woman. So you pick up the bag, and sometimes you do not pick up the bag for her. Let her pick it up.
Yeah, I agree with you. Yeah, my husband never picks me up from the airport when I'm coming back.
I think our answers have frozen him.
Yes.
Right? Payal, Shahanshah is frozen.
I think
Shahanshah's frozen with the answers. You're right. Absolutely.
The answer was so powerful, Piloo.
Oh my God, he's gone.
Oh, it's even better.
He's going to come back with a bang. You wait and watch.
What have you done?
And while Shahanshah comes back, Piloo, can we have your song, because we are finishing right now?
Yeah.
That will.
काहे को ब्याहे विदेश, अरे लखिया बाबुल मोरे, काहे को ब्याहे विदेश। हम तो बाबुल तोरी बेले की कलिया, हम तो बाबुल तोरी बेले की कलिया, अरे घर घर मांगे है जाए, अरे लखिया बाबुल मोरे काहे को ब्याहे विदेश अरे लखिया बाबुल मोरे काहे को ब्याहे विदेश. That's what the song they wanted.
Beautiful.
And
Beautiful.
that's brought by Shahanshah.
That was a
Yeah, that's
wonderful
what
song.
Shahanshah.
Hello, yeah, that was a wonderful song. Can you hear me?
I can. We can hear you. Yeah, we were
Yes,
wondering.
yes, yes. That was a wonderful song.
Yeah.
Wonderful song.
Thank you.
And on that note, let's conclude this evening's conversation. It was wonderful talking to each one of you, to hear your story, to hear about the challenges that you all faced, how you all overcome them. And I'm sure all those who must be watching us or who will watch us later, they too will enjoy each and every bit of it. And before I let you all go, thank you very much for taking out time, for being a part of this Sangeet Foundation program. I thank you, each one of you, from the bottom of my heart. And just for the information, on 13th of March, we have another session with the movie director Ashrujit Nandi, and he will be hosted by Shiveen Bhattacharya. So the details of this program will be informed later. And before we finally sign off, I would like to hand over back to my friend, not Doctor, he's Mr. Jayanto Ray, the Chief Architect of Sangeet Foundation. Jayanto, please come in.
Thank you, Shahanshah. That was a wonderful kind of a show. And I can see you're not being deterred by three powerful women. You know, I did see that you got frozen at the end with the powerful answers. But it was fabulous to hold your own. That was really great. And three strong women with different journeys in life, who had fabulous journeys till now, and whose, however, their thoughts converged on about vulnerability giving strength. I think that was a fantastic hearing from all of you, and obviously lovely songs by Piloo. I think that was, thank you so much for that. And we did circulate a question about what actually makes a woman, and is it nature, which is the surroundings? Is it nurture? Is it nature? Whether it's the genes, nurture, which is the surroundings, how you are brought up, or is it a bit of both? And hands down, it was a bit of both, though nurture seemed to be a very close second, in the question. So for all the viewers who had answered uh, that poll, thank you so much for that. I think yes. So we have had this. We will always have this conversation about whether it's nurture or nature or a combination of both, and how much is the influence of one over the other. And obviously, the circumstances we grow up in gives us that strength, the challenges that we face along the way. There was one comment saying that though we talk about, humankind instead of mankind, and things like that, there was a question about, sportsmanship. There was a comment which said, that still is there. And I say, it's sports person nowadays, not sportsman. When we talk about sportsmanship, you see something slips between the fingers, and we still have those, and it's always a challenge. There is still a challenge ahead. We have a long way to go before we come to that equal partnership. And as my daughter keeps saying, Papa, you can't be saying that there's a lot of equality just because people, women are working in a men's world. There is a structural disbalance right now, and that structural disbalance will take a lot from both sides to recognize, because we come from such a patriarchal society throughout the world. It's not only the Indian world, it's the Western world as well. It's a highly patriarchal society, and where we need to understand that there are these differences, and those structural differences need to be set right before actually the equality can start happening. And it's a long journey ahead, but we have come a long way from the suffragettes in the UK and the women empowerment which has been happening in India. And we have three great examples of women empowerment with us today. And thank you so much for being with us. It was a fabulous discussion and very fascinating, very amazing to know about all of you. I'm sure all our viewers would have loved listening to all of you. And thank you for being part of the Sangeet Foundation journey. Shahanshah, fabulous job as always with your sense of humor. I think it was it brought that to such a heavy topic, because it's not a very easy topic to deal with all the time. And yeah, and to all our viewers who have been watching till now and who will be watching in the future, this has been a fantastic journey. Obviously, I'll repeat, we have our annual function, World Happiness Day, on 20th and 21st of March. And we have the uh, founder of International Fathers Mental Health Day, Mark Williams, who will be there on the 20th with us. So do join us. Do subscribe to the Sangeet Foundation YouTube channel to get all the information, all the notifications, as well as watch all our fabulous journeys we have had, even with Piloo as well as with Marta, and Shahanshah has been hosting quite a few shows. And you can watch all of that, and of course the future notifications, and do become a part of the Sangeet Foundation journey of the family in Facebook group. And if you would like to join us and be part of helping mental health awareness with music and the arts, do reach out to us on sangeet.foundation@gmail.com or visit sangeetfoundation.org. That's a lot of information, so if you can remember that, but I'm sure you can rewind and fast forward and hear all that. So with that, thank you so much. Good evening, good morning, good night, wherever you are in the world. I'm sure I see a lot of people joining from the US as well, and of course India and Canada. So we will be looking forward to further fabulous programs. Thank you so much, and we want you, Payal, Piloo, Marta, on the show again. And it was fabulous having all of you. Thank you so much.
Thank
Thank
you.
Right. With that, we will close the show.